News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. After serving and protecting his hometown for nearly 3 decades, Starkville's top cop is turning in his badge. Chief Frank Nichols is set to retire at the end of the year. Our Quentin Smith catches up with Chief Nichols to reflect on his time at Starkville PD. He joins us live in the studio with more. Hey, Quentin.
Yeah, Scott, Chief Nichols takes pride in being an officer and calls it an honor to have served the people of Starkville for 27 years. He says it's been a great ride, and as he looks back on his career, the chief says he has no regrets. It was this moment 5 months ago when Chief Frank Nichols announced his retirement. When he looks back, it's a career that he's proud of. But let's rewind back to when his career first began. He first joined the department in 1992 and has held every job on the force.
I got hired here shortly after turning 23 years old. I turned 23 years old in October, and I got hired in December. So basically, I grew up here at the Starkville Police Department. I basically turned into a man working here at the Starkville Police Department.
The same streets that Nichols grew up on would be the same streets he'd end up patrolling. He says being from Starkville played a big factor in helping people develop their trust in him.
It's tough being a police officer in your hometown, but yet it's fulfilling because there's nothing like being able to help the people that you've known all your life, or their parents or their children.
The chief took pride in serving the city of Starkville with integrity and respect. He gave it his all, trying to make his community a better place to live in, and that hard work would pay off. In 2014, he became the first African American to serve as the department's chief of police.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Chief.
People would tell me, "You're gonna be the chief of police one day." And I'd be like, "No, man, not me." And eventually, I started to believe that. So I put myself in a position to receive it. And what I mean by that, I tried to keep my nose clean. I kept my record clean. I treated people right. I worked hard.
Throughout his tenure, the chief has received several awards for his outstanding work. But the one thing he's most proud of is getting the new facility that the department is now being housed in.
25 years, 3 other chiefs tried this before me. And for whatever reason, God decided to bless us with it, during my tenure. So that's something that I'll forever be grateful for, and I'll forever remember.
What will you miss most about your job?
The camaraderie with the other officers and the service to the city.
As this chapter of his life now comes to a close, Nichols says he's at peace because he served the city the right way and gave everything he had.
Just about everywhere I go, people, gonna stop me and tell me that, I did a good job when I was here, and to me, that's gratifying. I mean, I can ask for nothing else.
Nichols says he will now spend his free time traveling. Nichols also spent more than a decade serving in the military. Captain Mark Ballard will now take over as the chief of police. The change of command ceremony will take place on December 31st. Scott?
All right, thank you very much, Quentin. Well, the second in command at the Columbus Police Department has resigned. Multiple sources tell WCBI Captain Rick Higgins turned in his notice yesterday. Higgins was the commander of the patrol division at CPD. WCBI sources say Higgins' notice was effective immediately, but he did have some vacation time to use. The department is now without an assistant chief, commander of patrol, and commander of criminal investigations. Police Chief Fred Shelton says an employee with a high rank in the department has resigned but did not identify the employee. Shelton has worked to restore numbers to the department but has been doing daytime patrols to help fill in the gaps during staffing shortages. Well, 3 people are taken to the hospital after a short pursuit ends in a crash. The crash happened near the intersection of Park Circle and Winchester on the city's north side. Columbus police say that an SUV was stolen Monday. They were in pursuit of that vehicle when the crash happened around 2:30 this afternoon. Police say that one person was trapped inside after that accident. 2 men and a woman were all taken to the hospital. The driver, police say, did suffer serious injuries in the crash. The condition of the 2 passengers is unknown at this time. Human trafficking isn't as much as a hush topic as it once was, and those increased conversations are leading to changes in Mississippi's laws. Courtney Ann Jackson explains.
Human trafficking happens under the radar, and it's not a story where we can often introduce you to the victims, but their champions are finding reason to celebrate today.
Proud to say that Mississippi has now received an A grade from Shared Hope International in our efforts to fight human trafficking.
It's not just the improved grade, but what that grade will mean for future cases of human trafficking.
What we've seen happening in not only our state, but many other states across the country, is that minors are charged with prostitution.
Let's rewind to how we got here. Speaker Philip Gunn held a summit on the issue last year. He championed the issue as the 2019 legislative session kicked off, and a bill was passed that's a game changer for protecting the most vulnerable.
It helps us to focus on who the real criminals are. The real criminals are the traffickers and the buyers. So when we're not arresting the child or the victim in our minds, then we're turning around and considering who is truly the offender, and that's going to be the John and the trafficker.
But realistically, this report card means nothing to the traffickers, so the work won't end.
This is an issue that hits home to all of us. This is something I did not know until 2 years ago, but it's right here in the Jackson metro area. It's all around the state. It's in your hometown. And every one of us needs to come together to fight this issue.
Meanwhile, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation has formed a human trafficking division that's backed with federal funds. And a new statewide task force of state and federal partners was announced in September. Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
As more resources are devoted to combating the problem, the state is also partnering with organizations to provide more resources for the victims.
We do have some clouds streaming across our region this evening, a little bit different than the last couple of nights, and these clouds have been acting like a blanket, also giving us some nice little color, burst of color earlier this evening. That was a view in Starkville. But let's talk about the temperatures right now. Low to mid 50s, even a few upper 40s, so not the 40s and 30s like the last couple of nights around here. But eventually, I think we'll cool down into the mid to low 40s. So in general, a little bit of a warmer night for us. Now, for tomorrow and Friday and Saturday, the next 3 days, we have some mild air for the next 2 days. A little bit cooler by the weekend. 50s will return. Our better rain chance here will come Friday afternoon and Friday night. We'll talk about the next system coming up.
A new program available through the Family Resource Center of North Mississippi is giving hope to some inmates who want to change their lives for the better. Riley Martin introduces us to the counselor who brought the program to the area and a former inmate who is now helping others find freedom from addictions.
For the first time since he can recall, Chris Hatfield is concerned about someone other than himself.
I didn't have a commitment to other people. I mean, it was solely myself and myself only.
Hatfield has changed that attitude and many other attitudes and behaviors with the help of Kim Benefield, Recovery Program Coordinator with the Family Resource Center. Benefield met Hatfield earlier this year when he was an inmate at the Chickasaw County Regional Correctional Facility. It was the fourth time Hatfield had been to jail on drug-related charges, and the 48-year-old agreed to be part of a pilot program Benefield was teaching. It is called Moral Recognition Therapy.
It helps wake the brain up. It helps them look at their behaviors and how they can change on their own.
The 12-week program made a big difference, but the main factor, according to Hatfield, was heartfelt concern shown by his counselor.
To see the level of commitment Ms. Benefield put into it made me want to stay in it. It opened my eyes to wanting to help other people.
Hatfield is doing just that. He was released from jail 2 weeks ago and acts as a mentor to inmates going through the program. It's one of the distinctives of MRT, the follow-through after an inmate is released, and involvement from the entire community.
We didn't extend that hand to bring them in and give them what we need. We have to, as a community, do that. We have to begin to take part in helping get these people. They are good people. They made bad choices.
And for the first time, Hatfield is feeling great about his future and the opportunities he will have to help others avoid the bad choices he made for years. In Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
So far, the MRT program is in Chickasaw and Alcorn counties. The Family Resource Center hopes to expand the program to other counties as funding allows. Well, time now to send things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson, and there he is. I don't know where we're looking at, but there you go.
We had this instance a couple of weeks ago, Scott. Let's just come over here. I was going to ask you a question, Scott. Look at Roxanne here. Do you think she's happy or angry that we have some nice weather coming?
I mean, I can't. She's confused, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe not.
Mixed
Okay.
feelings.
Let's just say we have a nice day coming up tomorrow. Temperatures back up to around 70. Can't rule out some showers though. We do have some rain on the way for Friday. We'll talk about it next.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
It is great to see you on this Wednesday evening. We have temperatures currently in the 40s and 50s, down to 50 in Columbus and Starkville, 47 in Winona, a little bit warmer in Tupelo at 56. We still have a light southeasterly breeze in some spots, but overall temperatures will be not as cold tonight and still quite mild tomorrow on your Thursday. We will include a chance for a few isolated showers here across the northern and northwestern tier of the area. But most of us will not see any rain, including the Golden Triangle area where we do envision temperatures in the lower 70s. And for you in the West Alabama, too, no rain expected and some low 70s in Sullivan and Vernon. Winds from the south at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. This is how it looked earlier today in Columbus and Tupelo, Vernon, at Durham's Pharmacy, Louisville, Mississippi. We were expecting some high cloudiness to roll on in today. That's exactly what we had. And our cameras capturing the images of the clouds and the setting sun. Very nice color out there this evening as the sun set here on our Wednesday. But we are watching some moisture back to our northwest right now. This is going to be staying away from us, but a frontal boundary out here and some energy back in the desert southwest will be coming our way. There's that energy down here. And all of that will combine to give us a chance for some pretty good rain and maybe even a few storms as we get into Friday and Friday night. So there are the clouds right now. Basically dry here tonight and for a good chunk of tomorrow. We mentioned the northwestern areas. Yeah, we may see some showers here tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. Most of us will not see any rain until sometime Friday. When we wake up Friday morning, a lot of cloud cover, still mild. As we go throughout the course of the day, there will be a frontal boundary sinking from north to south here. And we will start to see some showers and storms break out by mid to late morning into the early afternoon hours. And then they will really explode, I think, as we get into the afternoon and evening and overnight hours as that system rolls on through. And the rain should be done sometime early Saturday morning. How much rain are we expecting here? Anywhere from a ½ inch to maybe 2 to 2.5 inches of rain. So it could be a pretty good soaking across a good chunk of our region here Friday and Friday night. And maybe even a little bit of lightning thrown into the mix as well. No strong or severe weather expected with this system. That's good news. Now, early next week and all of next week, we may see this southwesterly flow pattern set up. And there could be a couple of active systems across the lower 48. We will just keep evaluating the situation at this point, so stay tuned for updates. Relatively mild through Friday. A frontal boundary moves on through sky with that rain. Cooler 50s for the weekend, lows getting down into the 30s again. And there are those rain and storm chances again next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Hey, we'll take these mild 70s. We like them.
Feels pretty good.
It sure does. All right. Thank you very much, Keith. Well, what's better than making it to the championship? Playing your biggest rival when you get there. That's what we preview the showdown a little bit later in sports.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Welcome back, everyone. Flu season is here, and the time is now to start thinking about protecting yourself from getting the illness. We learn more about the flu vaccine in our Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lee Richardson, a physician in the emergency room at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Tonight, I would like to talk to you about the flu vaccination. The single best way to prevent seasonal flu is to get vaccinated each year. Yearly flu vaccination should begin as soon as the vaccine is available. Most of the time, the flu peaks between December and February. It takes about 2 weeks after vaccination for antibodies to develop in the body that protect it against the flu infection. The CDC recommends getting your flu shot by the end of October. We're already seeing patients testing positive for the flu in the ER. Everyone 6 months of age or older should get the flu vaccine every year, especially those at high risk, such as people with chronic pulmonary disease such as asthma, cardiovascular except hypertension, renal, hepatic, neurologic, hematologic, or metabolic disorders including diabetes, and people who are immunosuppressed, including those with HIV. You should also not get a flu shot if you have a severe life-threatening allergy to any of the ingredients in the vaccine, especially eggs. The flu shot cannot give you the flu. The flu vaccine that is administered with a needle is made either of flu vaccine viruses that are inactive or not infectious, or with no flu vaccine viruses at all. If you get flu-like symptoms, you may have other respiratory virus besides flu, or you were exposed to the flu shortly before getting vaccinated or during the 2-week period after vaccination. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, where we will discuss some common sense ways to keep from catching the flu.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital Golden Triangle.
It's never too cold to get some practice in. New Hope hosting a baseball clinic this evening. More on that when we come back.
Or WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
There's nothing bigger, nothing better than state championship football. Everyone dreams about being the one on the field for the final game of the season, only made more special by facing your rival for not only bragging rights, but for all the glory. Heritage Academy and Starkville Academy will meet again this Friday. As WCBI Sports' Tom Ebel reports, the road for each team to the championship couldn't be any more different.
In sports, the story of David versus Goliath is a common metaphor. The underdogs versus the juggernaut. Meet David, the 10 seed, off everyone's radar. 3 straight road victories, 3 straight upsets.
This is not a surprise to us. It's not a surprise to the coach, not a surprise to the guys. What I love about this is they believed us and they did it. I knew that they had the ability to win all those games. I knew that we were going to probably lose 3 or 4 games in the regular season. I knew that coming in, but I knew if we kept fighting, kept getting better, we would have our chance.
We weren't ready to break that family up that we had and go our separate ways. And this is the last game of the season. We made it.
Playing for championships isn't new for Starkville Academy. The Vols just a season removed from a title back in 2017. For those that lived it, there isn't a better week of the year.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's going to be a big atmosphere. And it's going to be something that some of these guys never played in before, and I've only played in it one time, and that was in 17. It's no other game like it.
Now meet Goliath, 14-0, number 1 in the state, outscoring opponents on average 38-7. The Patriots have stayed true to their mission since game 1.
The seniors really preached to everybody, we got to finish this thing, and how we felt last year, we didn't want to feel that way again.
They didn't pay lip service to it. They put in the work in the summer, and then obviously this season to put themselves in this situation. I think they're excited, but they know that it's not over yet.
The Vols were one of the 14 to fall to Heritage Academy, 42-7 in the regular season. But this isn't the rivalry game from October 18th. 2 completely different teams will meet on the gridiron, and this time it's for the title.
It definitely means a lot more. It just seems unreal to be able to, for my last game, to be rivalry game and in the state championship, and then it's going to feel good.
I told them yesterday I didn't want to hear the words last time, and they haven't. They understand that Starkville's a championship team, and that's how we have to treat them this week.
That's who we wanted. At the end of the day, that's who you want. Why would you not want your biggest rival, 25 minutes down the road, who beat you in the regular season, who you can play with if you'll just go out and play? How much more destiny can you ask for?
So will the story of David versus Goliath stay true? Will the underdog walk away victorious? Or will it be rewritten? Will the juggernaut continue its domination for one more battle? History will be decided in Jackson on Friday night.
To see how the battle between Heritage and Starkville plays out, you can tune in Friday to WCBI End Zone. We'll have the full game of the week recap. They say practice makes perfect. The New Hope Trojans putting that concept to the test, hosting the school's annual baseball clinic. Some big names showing out. The USA Baseball Community Clinic hosting Mississippi State Athletic Director John Cohen, along with former MSU head coach and legend Ron Polk. The clinic providing coaches throughout Mississippi with the opportunity to come together and learn from one another.
Baseball is strong in Mississippi. You look year in, year out at the talent level in Mississippi, and it's really good compared to other states.
Really, really good high school baseball in this state, and that stems back to many, many, many years ago. And I really think you can trace it back to when Coach Polk really started growing the Mississippi State program as early as in the 70s. So, but wonderful state to recruit and a lot of tremendous high school coaches.
Scott, it's the second year New Hope has hosted that clinic, but I've got to tell you, I can't even think about baseball right now with this weather.
I know. I was sitting here thinking, like, man, it seems a little weird. We're talking about baseball already.
Although it
it's
did
crazy.
get up to 70 degrees today.
That's true.
So
it did. And we got a couple more days of that.
That's true. That's definitely more baseball weather than we've had the past few days.
And right after football season, you guys will turn around and start basketball and then baseball.
Baseball's a long ways away as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, sounds good to me. All right, we'll have a last look at your forecast when we come back.
Mild weather for tomorrow and Friday, but the rain chances really go up Friday afternoon and evening. Cooler for the weekend. The rain gets out of here, so most of our Saturday, let's just say the second half of Saturday, all of Sunday looking good, and then maybe another chance of rain Tuesday and Wednesday.
Well, Courtney, you can leave your Chicago coat home, I think, this weekend, but you better bring the umbrella.
I'm so looking forward to spending all day Friday outside.
You'll need the umbrella for a little bit.
Might need some galoshes, too.
Hey,
yeah,
let's see that.
Good to be safe. Have a good night, everyone.